And guys, if you tuned out, come back to us. This is probably the most important part of the episode.
This is the most important part. We are testing you because the champions who get through this episode will get the true solid gold of it.
Exactly. So automation is important for a few reasons, but one, it's how you actually make money while you sleep and on autopilot, right? So it works for you. You don't have to be worried about it all the time. But two is they convert better generally because it's based on your customer's behavior. That's what triggers these emails to actually be sent. And there's something really, really powerful about that. And you can kind of liken it to ads, for instance. When people ask me like, oh, should I do Google ads or Facebook ads? I'm like, one, it depends a little bit on your product, but two, think about the experience on Facebook, right? You're kind of looking at your nephews or you're reading the news or whatever it is. And then you have this ad. It just kind of interrupts what you were already doing there. Versus on Google, you're going there and you're searching for something specific. Mm-hmm. So email is kind of the same way. Those campaigns sort of interrupt whatever it is that you were doing, while the automations are kind of there along the way with you, right? Because you took the customer took an action. So that's why they're really important and shouldn't be ignored. And I know that it can get a little overwhelming and you feel like you need to have like all of these crazy conditional splits and all of this like cool funnel stuff. And you don't. Let's keep it simple to start out. So the most important one really is the welcome, because that is your first impression with the customer. You want it to match whatever it is that you're giving away. So if it was the PDF, right, you want to kind of talk to them about what's inside so that they'll be more inclined to go read it. If it's the quiz, you want to email them their results, which in most cases should be the best products for them specifically. And then if it's the discount, don't get too crazy in that first email. Just give them the discount and get them back to your website to shop. And then you can go in and introduce yourself, talk a little bit about why they want to buy from you, give them a little bit of the behind the scenes. And I know you think people don't care, but people are voting with their dollars. And as a small business, you are the thing that sets you apart, and people want to support other people. So don't be afraid to share that stuff. And then you can kind of get them like, hey, come hang out with us on social and all that good stuff. So think about how you would talk to someone in person. What if you were at like a party or something like that? Think about that when you're creating that welcome. And then you also want to think about your abandonment emails. So I think the most recent statistic, I think cart abandonment has gone up. It used to be average of 68% of people would abandon a cart. Now I think it's closer to 75. Whoa, that's a lot. So you definitely want those emails to bring them back. And that can be really simple. Hey, did you forget this? Because most people just got distracted, right?
Absolutely.
There's probably a kid pulling on their leg. Somebody called them, texted them, whatever. So you want that abandonment. And then the other most important one is your post-purchase. So just because you got the sale doesn't mean that your job is done, especially for those first-time buyers. This is your chance to solidify that relationship with this new customer so that they'll come back, leave you a positive review, right? And then shop with you again. So when I think about the content here, I'm going to ask myself, what does this customer need to know and understand to have a good experience with my product? There is something that you can educate them on, whether it's how to care for it, how to wear it. I'll give you a couple examples. They're not jewelry examples, but it'll help illustrate this. I have a client who she sells handbags. She's got 5 main styles. And then they all just have a bunch of different colors, but every bag really serves a different purpose. They're very feature and then benefit heavy. And so we sent information about each bag, how to use it, how to care for it, how to get a dent out of it if you get a dent in your leather bag, right? And what's funny is, and I knew this was going to happen, that was part of the intention, but she was actually on a podcast and she had mentioned how we had done this for her and that her customer service inquiries went down.
Yes.
So important, because the time, energy, and effort that you spend replying to those customer service inquiries is just as important a metric in your business as your conversion rate is. So how can you decrease that? Because it's going to save you so much payroll time, and even, or if it's you doing it, right? Another example is this was from my previous day job. There was this new product that came out in the industry. It was brand new technology. It was like a really big deal. Everyone was loving it. The bloggers were giving it insane, reviews. We were selling them like hotcakes. And then we got all of these return requests. And we were like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? Because there was a little bit of a learning curve to using it. And we did not do our job in educating the customer. So what we found, and we figured this out because we went back and we looked at the data, right? We had all these customer inquiries coming in, live chats coming in. And what we found is when the associate would kind of troubleshoot using it with them, and they would kind of get it, and then they would come back and say, okay, never mind, I'm keeping it, right? And they were just as in love. So what did we do? We created a post-purchase email if they bought that product that explained all of this stuff to them ahead of time. And then all of that stopped, and then people were in love with it. So, if you're not sure what customers need to know, it's in your customer service inquiries. It's probably in your DMs on Instagram. It's in your bad reviews. It's all there for you.
Those are two really good examples. I think that does a good job of illustrating not only why it's important, but also like the types of content that can go in that post-purchase email.
Yeah.
That's awesome.